The stones were never silent. They were speaking from the very beginning, whispering warnings, calling certain people, and shaping the lives of the Frasers long before Craigh ever touched them. Season 8 finally pulls back the curtain, revealing that the stones hold secrets far older and far more dangerous than anyone ever imagined. It all began with a sound, a strange vibration, a pull that Craigh couldn't explain. When she reached out and touched the stone at Craigh, her life and the entire future of the Fraser family shifted forever. For years, fans have wondered why her. Why that moment? Why that stone? Season 8 leans into this question and starts to show that nothing about Craigh's journey was random. The stones have always reacted to emotion, to intention, and to a type of inner energy that only a few rare people carry. Craigh wasn't chosen because she was curious. She was chosen because she already carried a connection to the stones that she never knew existed. From the moment she first felt their hum, the stones were responding to her presence, almost recognizing her. Season 8 suggests that the stones act like a living force, not alive in the way we understand, but aware enough to sense danger, fate, and imbalance in time. They guide people who are meant to fix something or protect something from being lost. And Craigh's arrival in the past wasn't a mistake or an accident. It was the stones placing her exactly where she was needed, even if she didn't yet understand why. This is why the stones didn't react the same way to every person. Many people walked through Craigh without ever hearing a whisper or feeling a pull. But Craigh, without knowing it, had a bond that made the stones respond instantly. This moment wasn't just the beginning of her story, it was the first clue that the stones had a purpose. Season 8 now flips that first moment on its head. What seemed like fate might actually have been a warning. The stones didn't just open a path for Craigh. They opened a mission, one tied to the past, the future, and the Fraser bloodline itself from the start. Fans believed the standing stones were mysterious, but Season 8 suggests something far more shocking. They were never just ancient markers or spiritual sites. They were placed with purpose, positioned with intention, and every stone circle across Scotland seems to follow a pattern that only now begins to make sense. Season 8 hints that the stones form a network, almost like a map drawn across time rather than land. Each circle is a doorway, but also a signal point marking spots on the earth where time is thinnest, where the past and future overlap. The Druids didn't build these stones at random. They built them where the ground already carried strange energy. The stones simply helped shape that power into something people could use or, in some cases, survive. But here's the part that changes everything. The stones respond differently depending on who stands before them. Not because of magic spells or rituals, but because of something deep inside the traveler. Season 8 suggests that the stones might be reading the traveler's heart: fear, grief, love, or longing. These emotions determine not only if someone travels, but where and when they land. It's as if the stones search the person's timeline and pull them toward a moment where they are needed most. This explains why Craigh didn't land randomly in the past, why Brianna was drawn to a specific year, and why Roger was pulled through time even when he didn't intend to go. The stones aren't throwing people into history, they're directing them, guiding them, and they might have been doing this for centuries. There's a deeper layer here too. Season 8 introduces clues that the stones may react to danger in time, almost like an alarm that pushes certain people forward or backward to fix what others cannot see. When time starts to fracture, the stones answer by opening pathways for those who can repair it. Craig's arrival wasn't coincidence, it was the result of a timeline that needed her. What once looked like chaos now feels intentional. The stones choose moments. The stones choose people. And in Season 8, we finally begin to understand why. For years, fans sensed there was something different about the Frasers, something beyond courage, loyalty, and survival. Season 8 finally brings this idea into focus. The Fraser bloodline isn't just part of the story. It may be the reason the story exists at all. Season 8 hints that certain families carry a rare ability, a kind of inner signal that the stones can sense. This isn't magic in the fairy tale sense. It's more like a hidden frequency, passed quietly from one generation to the next. The Frasers and those connected to them seem to carry it stronger than anyone else. This is why Craigh hears the stones hum more sharply. This is why Brianna is pulled through time even when she tries to avoid it. And this is why young Jemmy's abilities appear stronger than both of his parents combined. The show begins to reveal that the bloodline isn't about power, it's about responsibility. The Frasers are drawn into the past not because they're chosen by fate, but because they carry something time itself responds to. Something protective, something stabilizing. And Season 8 suggests that without the Frasers stepping into certain moments, the timeline might have splintered long ago. This makes sense when you look back. Craigh saving Jamie's life again and again wasn't just love, it was the timeline preserving someone who needed to survive. Brianna's return to the past wasn't only about family, it was about correcting events that shouldn't unfold. Even Roger, who once doubted his place in the story, turns out to be part of this greater pattern. But the biggest shock is the idea that this bloodline connection might not start with Craigh or Brianna, it might go back centuries before them. Season 8 drops clues about older Fraser ancestors who may have encountered the stones long before Craigh ever walked the hill at Craigh. Done. The idea that the Frasers have been unknowingly linked to the stones for generations adds a powerful new layer to their legacy. This isn't just a family that survived war, loss, and exile. This is a family whose very existence shapes time. And Season 8 makes it clear. The Frasers are not just part of the timeline, they are one of the reasons it holds together at all. Season 8 takes one of the biggest mysteries in Outlander, how time travel actually works, and finally gives it shape. For years, the rules felt unclear, shifting, or even unpredictable. But in this season, the series gently pulls the curtain aside and reveals that the stones have rules. Just rules we never fully understood until now. The first rule Season 8 explores is that time does not bend for everyone equally. It bends for those the stones recognize. This explains why some people touch the stones and feel nothing, while others feel the ground hum beneath their feet. It isn't about belief, it's about resonance. The stones listen for a specific inner tone, and only those who carry it are able to cross. The second rule that Season 8 highlights is tied to survival. When someone tries to travel without the right emotional energy, fear, calmness, determination, something deeply personal, they risk being overwhelmed by the force inside the stones. That's why gemstones became so important. Not because they are magical objects, but because they stabilize the traveler's energy, protecting them from the violent shock of being pulled between centuries. But the most surprising rule is one that fans have long suspected. Time doesn't allow reckless change. Season 8 makes it clear that the timeline has a form of natural resistance. Small choices can shift, but large historical events refuse to be rewritten. It's as if time itself pushes back, correcting anything that threatens the flow of its story. Craigh, Brianna, and Roger have felt this resistance over and over. And now we understand why their greatest efforts often lead them right back to the path history originally intended. Another quiet rule that Season 8 confirms is the role of emotion in determining where someone lands. Travelers aren't thrown randomly into the past. They're pulled toward moments connected to their deepest needs: love, fear, danger, or unfinished purpose. This is why every Fraser journey leads them not just to a year, but to a turning point together. These rules reveal something stunning. Time travel isn't chaos. It's a system, a living design with boundaries and intentions. And Season 8 shows that every crossing has meaning because the stones never open without a reason. Season 8 introduces a breathtaking idea, one that completely reshapes everything we thought we knew. The stones aren't simply gateways. They aren't just ancient markers scattered across the land. They are protectors, silent guardians standing between the world as we know it and the chaos that could unfold. If time were left unguarded, for centuries, the stones have been blamed for disappearances, strange lights, and unexplainable events. But Season 8 flips that fear on its head. Instead of causing danger, the stones are responding to danger. When time begins to twist, when a critical moment risks being altered, the stones open the path for someone who can fix the break. They don't choose based on strength or knowledge. They choose based on intention, empathy, and the ability to restore balance. Looking back, this idea fits perfectly with everything we've seen. Craigh didn't just travel through time, she appeared exactly where a healer was needed. Brianna wasn't randomly pulled back, she arrived where her family's survival depended on her. Roger's crossings weren't accidents, they were answers to problems he didn't even know existed yet. Every journey solved something. Every traveler protected something. Season 8 goes further by hinting that the stones might work together, almost like